on November 6, 2024, at the Airshow in Zhuhai, Guangdong, an H-6K bomber had a surprising detail: a large U-lock on its cabin door. As China's only active strategic bomber, the H-6K is known for its strategic deterrence role and regularly appears in military exercises and airshows. This sight, with a simple U-lock on the door, led to widespread mockery online, with people questioning whether the cabin lock was really that unreliable, suggesting it could be easily opened by hostile forces to reveal advanced technology. Chinese military enthusiasts on social media were quick to make fun of the situation with comments like, "Save where you can, spend where you must." Does this lock open from the inside? Is the Air Force indirectly asking for more funding? This old workhorse has been dragged out too many times. It's almost embarrassing. Guess the U-lock counts as a new upgrade. The U-lock draws attention and suggests there's something mysterious, even advanced inside. Their jet locks are like bike locks, with only one key held by the captain. Once, during an exercise, the captain was off duty and they couldn't break the lock. They had to call a locksmith, who got so excited he fainted. The exercise was cancelled. The H-6 bomber is a Chinese adaptation of the Soviet Tu-16 long-range bomber, which has long been retired globally. Only China has maintained and developed it through various H-6 models. The H-6K is a medium to long-range bomber based on the original H-6, developed by China for regional patrol, long-range strikes, and out-of-area targeting. Reports indicate that in 2011, the H-6K was formally incorporated into military units. In 2013, it was revealed to carry cruise missiles with a range of 1,500 to 2,000 kilometers, capable of striking targets as far away as Guam and the Thai Malay Peninsula. The H-6K has a combat radius of over 3,500 kilometers, covering the second island chain. In 2015, two H-6Ks flew through the Miyako Strait into the Western Pacific for long-range training. Japan's F-15 jets from Naha Air Base scrambled in response. China's weapon manufacturing often has rough and subpar details, partly because early Chinese military systems were largely Soviet copies, inheriting the Soviet design style of being clunky, large, and crude. With copied weapons, resources often go into reverse engineering and theoretical testing, while actual production quality can suffer from design inconsistencies. This often leads to noticeable, sometimes critical flaws in the final products. A notorious example is the 6 rods on China's J-10 fighter jet. The J-10 was based on the Lavi project, an Israeli fighter jet design that Israel abandoned in the 1980s. China received significant help from Israel in copying the Lavi's design. However, U.S. intervention stopped Israel from supplying China with engines, radars, and flight control systems, so China had to source these from Russia. This increased the J-10's weight and size beyond the original design, resulting in larger wings and compromised structural strength. In its final version, the J-10 had a huge gap between the air intake and the belly of the aircraft, looking like a fish with its mouth open. To prevent the plane from breaking apart in flight, Chinese engineers added 6 reinforcing rods between the intake and the aircraft's belly, which is why it's now nicknamed the 6 rods. Chinese experts defending this claimed the rods were advanced strakes designed to disrupt airflow to improve canard movement. Since its inception, the J-10 fighter jet has faced a tough journey, with persistent issues stemming from its underpowered and unreliable domestically produced engines. This major flaw has led to at least 14 confirmed crashes during training exercises, resulting in 3 pilot fatalities and multiple injuries. The J-10's combat performance and reliability have been widely questioned, impacting China's efforts to market the aircraft internationally. On September 9th, South Korean media reported that Serbia and Thailand had each chosen other options for their next-generation fighter jets. Serbia chose France's Rafale, and Thailand chose Sweden's Gripen. This marks the 3rd time the J-10C has lost out on potential international sales, following Saudi Arabia's decision last year. During an August 29th visit by French President Emmanuel Macron to Serbia, the Serbian president announced a €2.7 billion deal for 12 Rafale jets, roughly $250 million each. Serbia's decision to buy Rafale jets instead of China's J-10C upset many Chinese netizens, who saw Serbia as a pro-China ally. Online discussions emerged, with people questioning how Serbia chose the more expensive Rafale when the J-10C was considered a cheaper, comparable alternative. Since Serbia is one of Europe's most pro-China countries, its decision left Chinese netizens frustrated. China had put significant effort into promoting its domestically produced J-10C fighter jet for export, only to see this effort go to waste, leaving many feeling betrayed. Discussions even surfaced on Chinese social media, questioning, with comparable performance and a price 4 times cheaper, why would our ironclad ally choose Rafale? The J-10, originally developed to counter the American F-16, is a single-engine fighter with similar size and takeoff weight to the F-16. The J-10C, introduced in 2018, is an upgraded model priced around $60 million, significantly cheaper than the Rafale. However, compared to competitors, the J-10C lacks firepower capacity and has no combat experience. The Rafale, on the other hand, has been exported to countries like India, Egypt, and Qatar, with proven capabilities in air-to-air, air-to-ground, and air-to-sea combat. It has seen action in Libya, Afghanistan, and against ISIS, with its performance validated in real-world conflicts. For Serbia, a traditionally pro-China and pro-Russia nation, opting for the Rafale over the J-10C likely involved political considerations. Serbia has been seeking EU membership since 2009, but has faced delays due to issues with Kosovo and internal governance. Analysts suggest that aligning with France, a leading EU member, may strategically aid Serbia's EU ambitions. Thailand, another nation with close China ties, also announced on August 27th that it would acquire Swedish JAS-39 Gripen jets, dealing another setback to China. Since 2015, China has participated in annual joint air drills with Thailand and has deployed the J-10C in these exercises. When Thailand decided to replace its aging fleet of F-16s, China actively promoted the J-10C. However, Thailand ultimately chose the Gripen over both the J and the F-16V. Currently, the only country purchasing the J-10 series is Pakistan, a close ally of China. They've ordered 36 jets, with around 10 already delivered. In contrast, countries that have purchased Chinese military equipment haven't always had success. In 2022, U.S. security experts revealed that Pakistan's 4 Chinese-made F-22P frigates, set to be equipped with long-range missiles, were unable to launch them due to critical flaws. Reports indicated that the frigate's search and tracking radars malfunctioned during high-power transmission, preventing target lock, while IR-17 sensors had defects and required replacement, impairing one of the ship's key mission objectives. Additionally, the engines on these frigates have shown serious issues, with degraded crankcases and bushings affecting the chemical composition of the coolant. Other engine problems included degraded lubricants and aging vibration isolators. The Eurasian Times pointed out that this isn't the first time Pakistan has encountered issues with Chinese-made defense equipment. In February 2022, Pakistan's army reported quality and reliability problems with Chinese-imported VT-4 main battle tanks and 203mm heavy-towed artillery. In addition, the Royal Jordanian Air Force and Bangladesh Air Force have also faced issues with Chinese-made military equipment. A 2021 report by EU Reporter noted that Bangladesh purchased 9 K-8W trainer jets from China between 2014 and 2015, one of which crashed in July 2018. Bangladesh bought an additional 7 K-8Ws, but 2 more had issues shortly after being delivered in October 2020. The Bangladeshi government repeatedly requested answers from the Chinese National Aerotechnology Import and Export Corporation, but they received no clear response. Even more concerning were issues with the K-8W's ammunition launching system. The K-8W's main contractor, Jiangxi Hongdu Aviation Industry Group, initially developed this model in 1982, followed by several derivatives. The report suggested that China's failure to deliver high-quality aircraft may stem from limited capability, ulterior motives, or both. China previously promoted the JF-17 fighter jet as a co-developed project with Pakistan, but the JF-17 has also encountered issues with its RD-93 engines, refueling systems, and weapons. Bangladesh additionally purchased the FM-90, also known as the HQ-7A air defense system, from China at a cost of 3 million yuan, but the system has shown defects and remained unused for nearly 3 years. Bangladesh has sent military personnel to China for training, where they've been placed in various military academies. Reports indicate that a group of Bangladeshi Air Force cadets at Changchun Aviation University faced mistreatment by high-ranking Chinese officers. Although this incident was quickly suppressed, it highlighted China's attitude towards Bangladesh. In the naval sector, Bangladesh's Navy spent $200 million on Chinese Ming-class submarines, which have also faced numerous issues. Military experts have noted that Chinese-made weapons are not only of poor quality, but also untested in real combat situations. For many third-world countries, the primary considerations in arms purchases are cost and political factors, with corruption playing a significant role. China can offer low-cost weapons and high discounts or bribes to procurement officials and intermediaries. Adding to the concern, it's been discovered that U.S. military equipment has, at times, contained a significant number of substandard Chinese-made components. As early as 2012, a report from the U.S. Government Accountability Office, GAO, revealed that counterfeit Chinese products were threatening U.S. military and national security. Investigators posing as suppliers to the U.S. Department of Defense purchased weapon parts from Chinese vendors, all of which turned out to be counterfeits. These parts included components for the U.S. Air Force's F-15 fighter jet, the Navy's V-22 Osprey, and nuclear submarines. The GAO report stated that of the 396 suppliers who actively sold parts to the investigators' fake company, 334 were from China. An independent lab confirmed that all 16 parts obtained from 13 Chinese suppliers were counterfeit or fake. Testing methods included visual inspection, real-time X-ray scanning, and scanning electron microscopy. The report noted that parts sourced from China were used in critical military assets, such as the F-15 Eagle, Maverick missiles, the Marine Corps' 22 Osprey, and the Navy's nuclear submarines. Senate Armed Forces Service Committee Chairman Senator Carl Levin expressed deep concern over the findings. He criticized China's failure to effectively tackle counterfeit products, which he argued jeopardized U.S. military safety and cost Americans thousands of jobs. Simultaneously, a report from the Senate Armed Services Committee estimated that over 1 million counterfeit electronic parts from China have been used in the production of U.S. military equipment. These counterfeit components were found in a range of applications, including electromagnetic interference filters for night missions, H-6K Navy helicopters, Hellfire missiles, C-17 Globemaster strategic transport aircraft, C-130J display systems, P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, and Boeing 737 planes. According to the report, 70% of the components came from China, with around 20% originating from resale points in the UK and Canada. It's worth noting that the Boeing 737 MAX 8 experienced fatal crashes in October 2018 and March 2019, and the V-22 Osprey has been involved in numerous serious accidents. It's possible that undetected Chinese counterfeit parts in these aircraft contributed to these tragedies. In previous discussions, we have repeatedly advised against using Chinese-manufactured industrial electronics due to their unpredictable and unmeasurable risks. But does China actually possess threatening weapons? The answer is yes, and they're both effective and concerning, primarily through theft and bribery. An anonymous Chinese analyst, Mr. Y, shared some insights about what he knows. He said, "I once knew someone in a Chinese hacker group named L. One day, L told me that their team had stolen complete design blueprints for specific models from Volvo and Boeing. However, the hacker team didn't want to hand them over directly to the Chinese government. They hoped to sell them for a high price and asked if I would help. Naturally, their plan was naive, and these blueprints likely ended up in the hands of the Chinese government." Mr. Y continued, "Volvo entered the Chinese market in 2006 through a joint venture, struggling to make a profit. Just 3 years later, it was acquired by Geely, a Chinese company. The Chinese government had managed to obtain blueprints, but lacked the production processes and material integration capabilities. By acquiring Volvo, China solved all the production and assembly process issues. The blueprints gave the Chinese government a significant advantage in negotiations, making Volvo's executives believe their technology no longer held any secrets or value. They didn't realize that Volvo's reputation for safety and manufacturing expertise was precisely what China was targeting." He added, at the time, Volvo's parent company was General Motors, which entered China in the 1990s. Since then, many individuals from China's Thousand Talents program, a large-scale industrial espionage initiative, have infiltrated multinational corporations like General Motors as foreign professionals. These individuals were tasked with stealing trade secrets, and their language skills and foreign status earned them trust in high positions. It's often after these people leave that companies realize they've suffered significant losses due to leaks. According to Mr. Y, it's likely that the Volvo blueprints were stolen with the help from internal contacts at General Motors China. That's why Volvo never really made money in China. From the start, its fate was sealed to be absorbed. Moving on to Boeing, Mr. Y noted, the situation with Boeing is even more serious. Boeing would never set up factories in China, so China couldn't steal core aviation technology. However, China has deeply infiltrated U.S. companies and even government entities. Chinese hackers claim they obtained Boeing blueprints, possibly for the 737 MAX 8, which experienced crashes in 2018 and 2019. Since China gets blueprints but lacks manufacturing capabilities, they disrupt. They analyze parts from their designs, and then, through methods like bribing officials, setting up shell companies, or impersonating legitimate suppliers, introduce counterfeit parts into the Boeing supply chain by undercutting prices. These parts act like ticking time bombs, ready to cause issues whenever China deems necessary. The goal is twofold: undermine U.S. national prestige and product reliability, and push the U.S. to abandon 737 MAX 8 production. Then, China could offer a high price to gain production rights, ultimately mastering Boeing's production techniques and materials for almost nothing, obtaining what took billions of dollars to develop over a century. Of course, achieving this would require agents in the U.S. political and corporate sectors lobbying on China's behalf. Mr. Y concluded by suggesting that recent crashes involving the V-22 Osprey could be related. He said, China's infiltration is the most dangerous weapon. Theft and bribery are its most threatening tactics. He believes a solution is feasible. Investigating the cause of crashes and examining the related parts could reveal suspicious personnel in procurement and allow authorities to verify suppliers, ultimately identifying the culprits. However, this would involve the scrutiny of Boeing, the U.S. military, and potentially high-level government figures. With a new U.S. president in office, he said, let's see if one day we'll read headlines uncovering the secrets behind Boeing and the V-22 Osprey.